everyone, and welcome back to DMG. I found the coolest thing today called ReactOS, and this promises to be Windows, but not made by Microsoft. That's right, this README file on the disk, I've already burned one, says it's an open source effort to develop a quality operating system that's compatible with applications and drivers written for Windows NT, 2000 XP, 2003 Vista, and 7. So this is basically Windows, but without everything you hate about Microsoft, from what I'm getting. And I'm actually really excited about this. Hopefully it's a bit lighter. I'm really hoping that because it's compatible with all of this stuff, it's going to be a lot like Windows 7 kind of stuff. Let's see. So they collaborated with Wine, which is basically a Windows emulator for Linux. Currently focused on Windows Server 2003. So basically, it's a clone of older Windows versions, I suppose, to keep old systems up and running. So, you know, if you've got, let's say, a factory that's running older hardware, but they want something newer than a Windows release that is currently unsupported, they could use ReactOS. And I think it's really cool what they're doing here. I love the developers' ideas. It just seems like a fantastic way to preserve older hardware to be able to run older software, because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't run on anything newer than XP or Vista. Now, also, this is a CD, and it only uses 156 megabytes of a 700 megabyte CD for the installer. Windows, just base Windows 10, uses a full DVD. That's like 4 gigs. A little over, in fact. Now, from how small it is, I hope that means that it's light enough. And like, here, let me pull up their website. I mean, it looks a lot like Windows. Earlier I saw here it is. They demonstrate a lot of Windows programs running on ReactOS. WinZip, 7-zip, Media Player Classic, custom themes, ReactOS theme. I mean, it's got Firefox, Thunderbird. So yes, it is basically Windows, but free. So I am super excited about this. Let's go try it out. Excuse the fact that I look like I just went for a swim. It's raining outside a lot. And as we all know, sensitive, especially old and hard to find electronics absolutely love getting wet. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, joking. But I was thinking, if this OS is designed to replace like NT 4.0 systems, might as well use something from about that time. I'm planning to completely rebuild this thing anyway, eventually, and sell it. I haven't gotten around to it because I've gotten sucked into so many other projects. However, it will serve as a fine test bench for today. I am going to make some minor improvements, such as turning off the air conditioning because I'm freezing. That's better. Right, Athlon 64 3200 plus. I'm going to be taking out this absolute beast of a video card, the GeForce 6800, to replace it with something a bit newer. And I'm also going to be taking out that Sound Blaster card, because that's just another thing that drivers have to be installed for. And when we're talking about an obscure, probably, hopefully compatible OS, I want to minimize the amount of weird stuff going on. Now this motherboard's locking mechanism is very strange. It's before these were really standardized. Ow. Okay, good. I didn't snap off a cap. I just injured myself. I mean, just look at that card. What a beautiful card. But yeah, this card, it may be too old for this OS to work with as it's supposed to. So I'm gonna take it out. And the Sound Blaster, it's a Sound Blaster Live. Boom. You know, standard Sound Blaster card from the 2000s. Now, I think this is CD in. Yes, it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug this back into the board because just in case I need to use CD audio, I'm going to check what RAM I have in here as well. I think this is the OCZ. Actually, no, I know off the top of my head. These are 2 sticks of 1 gigabyte, 800 megahertz OCZ Platinum or Silver. I think that's the Silver. Then we've got an 80 gig IDE hard drive, so it's going to be interesting to see how the OS handles that. Alright, the GPU we're going to be using is this GeForce 6800 sent to me by a very special LTT forums user. Thank you for that. You know who you are. It matches the PCB nicely. This one is made by Sparkle. I haven't actually tested it yet, but luckily when a video card doesn't work, it's extremely obvious. Slot it into the motherboard there. Click it in with the strange locking mechanism. And also, a thing I dislike about the GeForce 6800 is it is so loud. People complain about like blower cards being loud. This style of cooler, oh, it's even worse. I think that's all the modifications we're going to need to make for today, because I want to see just how far back I can take this operating system. Like, I want to see if it can handle an IDE drive, and I think that's an IDE CD drive as well, yeah. If it can handle the first 64-bit processor ever. In this case, is a pain in the butt to close. There we go. Just give it a nice kick. It's what the pros do. There we go. Got a lovely test bench here. Grabbed us a monitor. Honestly, I wish this case didn't look like it went through several meat grinders before being dropped face down in the mud a couple times, because I love the look of the front of it. I've tried to clean it up a bit. I mean, like, I've, of course, dusted it off, but there's, I mean, when it's so scratched, there's not much I can do. And I don't want to repaint it because I don't really have black paint that would stick to metal well. So it would probably entail sanding down the entire thing. And I'd rather spend a weekend doing something a bit more interesting. Now, while I've plugged these things in, I found out from the LTT forums, I posted a topic about ReactOS to hopefully learn a bit more about it. Apparently, the project was started before XP was even released. So I guess that's why it can go back so far. So apparently it's just a group of enthusiasts that wanted to recreate Windows, but not Windows. And they've just kept it up for a while, I guess. I mean, I would think that it's relatively recent, because it says Windows 7 on the website. So, I mean, even if the last release is from 10 years ago, it could still be an interesting thing to take a look at. And like still, even if the whole project has just been completely abandoned, still could be interesting. Don't worry, we're not dealing with like actual AV equipment that I don't have to set up and then take down within an hour like I do with the stuff for filming my videos. I'm a lot more neat than this. That was bad timing. Alright, flipping the PSU switch. Monitor on. I should turn the power strip on. I'm dumb. Alright, here we go. Wait, no, stop. Stop booting. Stop booting. There we go. Okay, it's recognizing the spin point drive. First boot device CD-ROM. Okay, there we go. Alright, this should work. I've got the ReactOS CD that I burned in it. We've got a indicator on the drive. It's booting. Oh, hey, I could just go into the boot menu. I love how zip is a boot option. There we go. InTAS kernel. It's loading .dlls. Seems a lot like Windows. Now, if you've ever seen the Windows 7 setup, this is going to look really familiar to you. And this looks a lot like the Windows XP setup. I mean, it's a screen with some text. How different can it be? But, okay, yes, English, install. This is XP setup. This is the same as XP setup. Down to the keys that are pressed, which are mostly the same, the shortcuts. Okay, that's slightly different. What? Original Xbox, x86 based. Standard PC ACPI. So this is ACPI, but the fact it has an option for non-ACPI makes me think that I could go even older than this. I might be able to go back to my Windows 98 laptop, which is still mostly ACPI. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Delete partition. This is exactly like the XP setup. And apparently there is no, interesting, so there's no NTFS. It's either FAT or BTRF. BTRFS, my bad. FAT file system, quick. Wow, that was quick. / ReactOS, yeah. I was going to format this disk anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah. It works fine on this super old hardware. And here it is. This is a lot like the Windows 2000 and Windows XP setup. This is fantastic. I love this. Alright, the quietness of this GPU is very noticeable. Like all of that sound is coming from the disk drive. And also it seems to be installing extremely quickly. I'm not going to pop the panel off yet and check the temps. Interesting. You've got an option of where to install the bootloader. You can put it on a floppy. I could, but I'm going to put it on the hard disk. MBR and VBR, or VBR only. I don't know which of these to choose because honestly I don't really know what that means. So instead of looking it up, I'm just going to select the one that it did by default. And if something goes terribly wrong, I might try the... This is also like Windows setup. Tells you to remove the drive and anything in the floppy drive, which is interesting. So that does further indicate the age of this OS. But it says remove the drive, and then it gives you 15 seconds until reboot, which is interesting. That seems too short. Why did it say 1024 megabytes of RAM? I think I have 2 gigs. Or did I accidentally unseat one? No, it says DDR2 at DIMM 1 and 2. Don't boot from CD DVD. You shouldn't do that. Oh, 1996 to 2021. It's got a copyright date of 2021. NT 5.2. No way. Wow. This is reminding me, this is reminiscent more of Windows 2000 right now. And it's doing the Windows 2000 and XP no driver for video card installed thing, where it's at like about a frame per second. This is more like 2 to 5 frames per second, but build 3790 Service Pack 2 of NT 5.2. They said they didn't take it from any Windows version, but the similarities are incredibly striking. It's definitely based on a Windows version. And again, they said they didn't recycle any code, but if they didn't recycle any code, why are they calling it NT 5.2? It's interesting. Like to acknowledge the following open source projects. ReactOS Server, ReactOS Workstation. Okay, so private folders, my pictures, my videos, and my music are in my documents, like they are in Windows XP. And then they're independent from... I'm going to set it up as Workstation because it seems really similar to XP. If that file system, minor file system change is the only thing, I want it like that. Is it rebooting? Oh, it listed that it had a 9400 GT VGA card. So it's recognizing that. That's nice. And it's recognizing the display controller. Trying to boot from the CD DVD, which it shouldn't be. Booting freeloader. Here we go. Interesting. We've got an automatic startup kind of thing. Load ReactOS. Is it just me or is the screen resolution higher? It might just be me. It was just me. Okay. It's loading my personal settings. That's good. What? Oh, that's what drivers should do. And also, for some reason, it screwed up my mouse. Okay, install driver automatically. This is a lot like XP. This is crazy. Firewire controller, audio device, unknown device, properties. This is, whoa, okay. This is a lot like 9X. We're gonna do 1280 by 1024. Oh yeah. Okay, so it's recognizing the CD. It's got the TP-Link logo on it. This isn't your average weird free OS. This is no Linux. This thing can run EXEs. Now, if this driver successfully installs, that will be cool. Just cool. I have no other word to describe it. So this is that's the driver for the internet, because I want to get this thing online, because I want to browse the internet with it so that I don't have to get a flash drive to download the GPU drivers and then stick them on this thing. This is fascinating. I'm sorry, this is probably gonna be like super weird in you watching the video. This is an uncanny resemblance to Windows. Like, is this legal? Oh yeah. Talk about not hardware accelerated. This is what happens when you don't have GPU drivers installed. Literally dragging a window around the screen shoots your CPU usage up to the 80s and 90s. Hey, I found this weird thing called ReactOS. Come take a look at this.
Oh, I've heard of that. Is that the one that's like Windows?
Yeah, it's like Windows, but not.
Yeah.
I'm running an EXE. It looks like Windows 2000, and I don't know what to do with my life. This is...
That's wrong with it. Windows 2000 was the best, man.
Mm-hmm. Like, I keep opening things, and it's like an uncanny resemblance.
Yeah.
And it's light enough to still run on one core.
If I'm remembering correctly, I feel like something like the Russian version of Windows 2000, because they had to disclose it all to the government or something, was leaked, and that's how ReactOS was made?
That's very interesting, because it says...
something like that.
It says NT 5.2 build 3790 here in the corner.
Yeah.
That can't be something they just made up.
No, I'm pretty it's something weird like that.
I would think so, yeah.
I'm gonna lock this door.
Alright, see ya.
So,
Alright, so if what my teacher was saying is correct, I guess that explains everything. That would be fascinating if it was. Now, this driver install has been stuck at 90% for about 5 minutes. It might be safe to just close it. It's not using the disk drive anymore. And it definitely seems to be stuck. All I desire is video drivers. That is all I want in life. Okay, system tools. Registry editor. And we've already seen task manager. Command prompt. Tree. Whoa. Alright. So that's the same thing as if you type tree in any Windows version. It'll do that. Wait. See application data, Microsoft Internet Explorer. Can the camera see that? Yep, it's got IE. It's got IE, guys. Just in case you want to browse the internet in the worst possible way. Of course, it's supposed to be Windows, and I'm getting Windows vibes from it. But just from the general feel and honestly use so far of the OS, it feels a lot like the crappy old Raspbian versions that came on like the Raspberry Pi 1 and 2 that they didn't need to be very fleshed out because Raspberry Pis weren't really intended to be used as what they are now. Like, use as a full computer was not the developer's intention back then. So the OS was very, very basic. Now the thing is, I can't close this window. Can I do it through Task Manager? I can't. It's not even a process. It's not even a process. It's just a window that's stuck on my screen with the display settings glitching through it. Nice. That's how I like my operating systems. Alright, so, of course, a lot like the 2009X start menu. Games, no. We've got Solitaire and Spider Solitaire, and then Wine Mine. Alright, of course, Wine being the Windows emulator. Alright, yeah, it's not pushing our CPU or anything too hard. That only took up 2 more megabytes of memory. So this is an extremely light operating system. I'm gonna go grab a flash drive, stick some old NVIDIA drivers on it. I'm gonna put Windows 2000 drivers for the 9400 GT, which I hope exist. Is this room wired for Ethernet? Yep, it is. I'm gonna go grab a long Cat5 cable. And by long, I need several feet. And by several, I mean like 40. I think this is long enough. Alright, maybe I should have looked at the access point first. It's Wi-Fi only. This is how our forefathers did it. They walked the dangerous paths of the IT office to bring us powerful single-core CPUs and internet access. Imagine that, internet access on a computer. Who would have thought? That's right, I'm a pioneer like that. Okay, I literally invented the internet to bring you this video, so you better subscribe. Alright, here we go, plug it in the cable. Alright, the internet light on the back by the Ethernet cable has come on. Is there any sort of indication of the greatness that I've just achieved? Any indication of me inventing the internet on this computer? That scared me. It's the ice machine. On AC power, yeah, no crap. If I go to control panel, and then set up, like, network connections. OpenGL config, that's interesting. I might check that out later. That's what I meant to click. There's nothing coming up in network connections. I think I'll mess around a bit more with it, and then come back on camera and talk more about it. So that's going to be it for this video, because I can't do much else with it right now, and this is probably going to be a long one. There's about an hour of footage on the cameras that I'm going to have to go through, so that's probably going to be like a 20-30 minute video. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully another video on ReactOS soon. See ya.